top story, of course, over the last couple of hours is the situation in Sanaa, which is incredibly fluid. We can talk to Nadia Al-Sakaf, who is the Minister of Information. Thank you for talking to us here at Al Jazeera. What is the situation in Sanaa right now? Where is the president and who's in control?
The president is in his house. It's very tense. We can still hear fire exchange and random, not as much as the morning, random explosions or gunshots. There was a meeting around an hour ago at the president's house that included the prime minister and high-level representatives of the Houthis, and they agreed from this meeting that the ceasefire will happen, and there will be a field committee which is supposed to go around the streets and ensure that ceasefire does happen. However, once the members of the meeting, including the prime minister, left the meeting at the president's house, they were shot at, and hopefully they can make it to their residence. But we know that the prime minister is still fine. We know that Ansarullah, the leaders, are fine. But
And,
we know that
and where is the president? Sorry, where is the president?
Is in his house.
He's where? Sorry,
House.
could
He's still in his residence in Sanaa.
the president is in Sanaa? Can you?
Yes, this meeting did not include any diplomats. There was news that this happened, but it did not. The meeting was purely Yemeni, and in charge of the defense interior was supposed to meet with the Houthis to start combing the streets and ensuring ceasefire. But they could not meet, so the ceasefire has not started. It's very dangerous now in the streets.
The TV station and the state news agency, you have said, has been taken over by the Houthis, and you have said this is an attempted coup.
The attempted coup is not with the TV. It's actually this morning when there were attempts to enter or take over the presidential palace. The takeover of the TV actually happened gradually, and it was through the popular committees that, starting from November, were spread in all public and state-run organizations or establishments, including the media establishment. What happened is that they were there as monitors or observers. They were saying they're there to fight corruption. But by this time, they refused to acknowledge the state's authority in the state TV and the state radio and Sabat news agency. And so I have no authority over those organizations. I've tried to pass instructions. I've tried to tell them to publish this and broadcast that. They have refused to acknowledge the authority.
So you're saying that there was an attempted coup when the Houthis tried to enter the presidential palace. What is the situation now? Were the Houthis successfully repelled?
No, there was just I think one casualty and 3 injured. So there was a lot of fire exchange, but not many people were actually killed. And eventually, because of mediators, they managed to meet at the president's house, and the meeting resulted an agreement to cease fire. The ceasefire has not been able to be, they couldn't get it to be achieved because the committee is supposed to calm the streets could not start its operations.
And who is in control of Sanaa now?
To be honest, I don't think any single party is in control of Sanaa. There are places where the state security is in control. There are places where Houthis are in control, and there is a third party who is also in control of several places.
And who is this third party?
Well, I think there were some people who came from the tribal area surrounding Sanaa. They were armed men. Last week they came in. We have news also of people who are affiliated with the Republican Guards because they are wearing the military uniform of the Republican Guards, which is affiliated somewhat to the former regime. And there are people who are just bandits. I mean, like people who's in their best interest to create chaos. This is a very vulnerable situation. motivation. I am very worried that Al-Qaeda or other terrorist organizations are going to use the lack of order and just target anybody. This is why we have been instructed to lay low, and all of the foreign diplomats and everybody is taking guard.
Have you yourself, a government minister, been instructed to leave Sanaa, to leave Yemen?
Not at all. Not at all. We have been told to stay put in our homes and see how this develops. But we are all staying in the same place where we were before. Nobody has left the country, and the president himself is still in Sanaa.
What is the president's plan to try to regain control?
Well, that was the plan yesterday, because it was he instructed his commanders and military from Ministry of Defense and Ministry of Interior to spread in the city and ensure that there is control, there is state control, after his office manager was abducted a few days ago. Now, I think his most important priority is to have the city safe.
And how is he hoping to achieve that? Is the Yemeni army still responding to his command?
Not all of it. Some of the Yemeni army are responding to his command, and this is why both ministers of defense and interior were there in this committee. But there are people who wear the uniform and they do not obey the orders of their superiors.
It sounds as though Sanaa is in a state of utter chaos.
At the point, yes. It's a very this story is developing so quickly. I think by the time I finish this conversation, something new is going to happen. We may probably have a new Yemen by the end of the day, in terms of maybe a new system altogether. I still don't know what's happening. What I know now is that there are attempts to cease fire, and there are people or bodies who are trying not to allow this to happen.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. We've been speaking to Nadia Al-Sakaf, Minister of Information of Yemen, who's painted a very, very distressing picture of the situation in Sanaa right now. She talked of nobody being in control in Sanaa, and talking of the army, only parts of the army responding to the control or the orders of the president. She said the president is safe and that he's in Sanaa, and indeed that the Prime Minister is safe and that he's in Sanaa. She said that government ministers had been told to stay put, but she said that foreign diplomats were beating a retreat and were leaving. She confirmed also that the state media, both the television channel and the news agency, is under other control, shall we say, certainly not under government control. She tried to get them to publish certain articles, certain information, and they've point blank refused. That's a situation in Sanaa.